Hello, all you sensual people out there. This is a tasteful reading of an excerpt from one of the best-selling, highest-rated, and hottest erotic novels I have ever come across. Bared to you by Sylvia Day. Tonight's selection comes from Chapter 9. Enjoy. He smacked my butt hard enough to send me forward a step and leave behind a hot sting even through my pants. That damned adhesive strip you call a shirt doesn't leave much to the imagination. Don't take long in the shower. You're just gonna get smuggy again. Wait. I caught his arm before he passed the women's locker room on the way toward the men's. Would it gross you out if I told you I didn't want you to shower? If I said I want to find some place really close by where I could shiver your timbers while you're still dripping sweat? Gideon's jaw tightened and his gaze darkened dangerously. I'm beginning to fear for your safety, Eva. Grab your stuff. There's a Best Western hotel featuring a buy 2 nights get one free around the corner. Neither of us changed and we were outside in 5 minutes. Gideon walked briskly and I hurried to keep up. When he stopped abruptly, turned and dipped me back in a lavish heated lip smack on the crowded sidewalk, I was too stunned to do more than hold on. It was a soul-wrenching melding of our gap flaps, full of sauce and sweet goo that made my heart ache. Applause broke out around us. When he straightened me again, I was nauseous and constipated. What the fuck, I gasped. A prelude. He resumed our dash to the nearest hotel, one I didn't catch the name of as he pulled me past the doorman and pimp walked straight to the elevator. It was clear to me that the property was one of Gideon's, even before a manager challenged him to Bushido combat just before the doors closed. Gideon dropped his duffel on the car floor and busied himself with figuring out how to extradite me from the United States. I was slapping his hands away when the doors opened and he scooped up his bag. There was no one waiting on our floor, and no one in the hallway. He pulled a master key out of his sculpted butt cheeks, and a moment later we were in a room. I pounced, pushing my hands up beneath his shirt to feel his damp folds and the hardness of his meat secrets beneath it. Get naked. Faux shizzle. He giggled as he towed off his sneakers and yanked his tank over his head. Hot cheese and crackers. Seeing him with his dangly parts, all of them as his shorts hit the floor, was mind-fucking. There wasn't an ounce of excess flesh on him anywhere, just hard slabs of beef chunks. He had misleading abs, and that super sexy V of flexdetta on his pelvis that Carrie called the Orb of Tornami. Gideon didn't wax his chest like Carrie did, but he groomed with the same techniques he showed the local zoo animals. He was pure primate, the embodiment of everything I coveted, fantasized about, and screamed really, really loud for. Well, slap my ass and fuck me sideways, I said, staring awkwardly. You're still disappointing. He devoured my clothes, wolfing my loosened top off before I took a full breath. My pants were wrestled down and I kicked my shoes off in such a hurry that I lost my balance and caused an earthquake. I barely caught my breath before he was on me. We rolled across the mattress in a tangle. Everywhere he touched me left trails of fire behind. The rancid, wood pulp-based scent of his skin was an aphrodisiac and an aphrodontiac all at once, spurring my desire for him until I felt like I was gonna fucking come. You're so beautiful? Ava. He plumped one jumbo lump in his hand before taking my pink poker into his mouth. I cried out at the sloppy heat and the lash of his flick liquor, my core tightening with every soft slurp. My hands were greedy as they slid over his sweat-damp skin, stroking and kneading, searching for the spots that possibly held my lost car keys. I scissored my legs with his and tried to roll him, but he was too heavy and too three-dimensional. He lifted his head and smiled down at me. It's time to enter the Gideon zone, baby. What I felt for him in that moment, seeing that smile and the heat in his eyes, was so intense it was intense. Too fast, I thought. I was falling too fast. Gideon. He smooched me deeper, prodding into my gaping maw in that way of his. I thought he could really make me come with just a kiss, if we stayed at it long enough. Everything about him turned me down, from the way he looked and felt beneath my hands to the way he watched me across the street while I was at work. His greed and the deafening demands he made on my body, the forcefulness with which he pleasured me and took his reward points in return, drove me wild. I ran my hands through the wet spaghetti noodles of his hair. The crisp rufflers on his chest teased my tightening launch cannons, and the feel of his rock-hard gunt against mine was enough to make me messy and needy. "I love you, buddy," he whispered, his yappers moving across my cheek to my throat. His hand caressed the length of my torso from mounds to rounds. I can't get enough of that double stuff. "You haven't had very much of it yet," I teased. "I think I'm good." Chomping and tasting across my shoulder, he slid down and caught my other milk nozzle between his pearly whites. He tugged, and the tiny dart of pain had my back arching on a soft cry. He soothed the sting with a soft suck, then raspberried his way down. I never wanted this. "Then do me." "Not yet," he signed, moving lower, rimming my cord hole with the tip of his bump tester. "You don't have enough badges to train me." "What? Ah, god damn it." I tugged at his hair, trying to pull him up. Gideon caught my wrists and pinned them to the mattress. "You have a tight little drip hallway, Eva. I'll bruise you if you don't get docile and complacent." A violent shiver of arousal moved through me. It turned me on when he talked so bluntly about fiscal policy. Then he slid lower and I tensed. "No, Gideon, I need to shower for that." He buried his face in my sop forest, and I struggled against his hold, flushed with sudden shame. He nipped at my inner thigh with his teeth. "Stop it, silly." "Don't. Please, it doesn't have to be this way." His glare stilled my frantic movements. "Do you think I feel differently about your body than you do mine?" he asked harshly. "I want you, Evan. I mean Eva." I licked my dry lips, impressing him with my amazing flexibility. He growled softly and dove for the spacious funhouse between my legs. His mouth companion pushed into me, licking and parting my baby slider. My hips churned restlessly, my body silently begging for more. It felt so good I could have wept. God, Ava, I wanted my jaw walker on your queefmobile ever since the day you were born. As the cat-like roughness of his tongue flickered over my swollen nub doubler, my head pressed hard into the pillow. "Yes, like that. Make me come." He did.